Hey everybody, Reefgrrl here. So what can I say? We've had a huge letdown from Paris Home Hardware Building Center, who were the ones who promised me faithfully I would have my heater today, Tuesday. You can see we did make it through the freezing over of the pond several times, etc., but no heater. And when did we find this out? What you're looking at is Wednesday morning. That's when we found out that there was no heater in the shipment on Tuesday. They spent the whole day blowing us off when we inquired about it, and the first thing this morning when different people were working, they consulted the packing slip, and lo and behold, there was no heater for us. So I'm beyond furious. I'm hugely disappointed, and I had to get to work right away and source a new one. So I did do that. I ended up talking to a wonderful person named Megan at the Bridle Path Tack Shop in Kingston, Ontario, and she went out of her way to get a shipping quote for me for overnight shipping and promised the heater for the next day, and it did arrive. In the meantime, we were dealing with this once again, overnight freezing. I do see fish in there. They are still moving around. I'm unable to count them because the ice is too thick and there aren't enough openings. And you can see that that larger hole on the right there at the bottom is already starting to ice over. The gentleman at the hardware store who blew me off on Tuesday said, "Oh, you don't need to worry. It's not going to go below zero overnight." And because I hadn't checked the weather forecast, I couldn't argue with him. But sure enough, it went to -11. And we're out here every couple of hours doing this because otherwise it'll freeze over, and who knows, the pond isn't deep enough for these fish to be safe without open water. So I'm very upset. Here's a shot of what it looked like. That's how cold it is. That's hot water in there, boiling water, and yeah, it was ridiculous. And then guess what? We have to say thank you to Debbie at the Home Hardware Building Center because she went out of her way to make some phone calls, and she did find another heater for us in a store. She sent someone to pick that up and bring it back, and so now we have 2 heaters. So that's not such a bad thing, although I would have preferred not to have to spend the extra $50-some to do that, but what the heck, stuff like this happens. And unfortunately, communication is not the strong suit of a certain person who supposedly was helping us on Tuesday. So I was able to count 9 goldfish, including the white one who kind of went AWOL. I was not able to see him and I was worried he'd passed away, but everything's okay. So we'll just get through the rest of the winter, and in the spring, when we take the fish out to clean the pond, I'll look them over carefully and make sure they're all healthy.